Good evening. This is Jeff Desk. Tonight we are watching a very rare kind of history being written. Not the kind any political family hopes to make, but the kind the public delivers when it is completely free to speak with its wallets, its time, and its silence. A motion picture that reportedly cost $75 million, centered entirely on the current First Lady, opened in theaters this weekend. Very few people showed up. I'm not speaking figuratively. I mean literally almost no one came. Rows of empty seats, canceled sessions, projectors turned off in the middle of the day because 0 tickets had been sold. The very first real-world test of this film did not happen in the United States. It happened in Australia, a country geographically and culturally distant enough from America's daily political battles that audiences there could, in theory, have looked at the movie with fresh, independent eyes. What they did instead has already become one of the most talked about opening weekends in the modern history of theatrical exhibition. In the heart of Sydney, one of the most beautiful and prestigious downtown cinemas, a 420-seat theater that sells out easily for major superhero releases and serious award contenders, opened its Friday 7:15 p.m. premiere of the Melania documentary to exactly 11 paying customers. 11. Staff members outnumbered actual ticket buyers more than 2 to 1. The manager, speaking privately to an entertainment journalist, said in 22 years working in that building, he had never witnessed anything even close to this level of absence, not even for the most experimental, tiny-budget independent films. Before the night was over, the second showtime was canceled, then the third, then the fourth. Only 2 more tickets had been purchased across all remaining sessions combined. Melbourne went even more dramatically in the opposite direction. The city's largest premium multiplex, 280 luxury recliners, in-seat food service, opened its first Saturday morning screening to a total of 4 human beings. 4. One projectionist later told people close to him he almost didn't bother loading the digital file because he was convinced the booking had been entered by mistake. By Saturday afternoon, the chain had already removed the picture from 4 out of its 6 Melbourne locations. Someone working inside posted, and quickly deleted, a photograph of one of those completely empty premium auditoriums with the simple caption, "Anyone want to guess what movie this is?" followed by a skull emoji. Perth told an almost identical story. A 180-seat auditorium blocked off for the entire opening weekend. Total attendance across 7 scheduled screenings, 9 people. 9. The box office take for the whole weekend in that theater came in under $300 Australian dollars. Sunday morning, the film was quietly replaced with a second-week run of Wicked. The very next week, same time slot, Wicked sold 142 tickets. Brisbane mirrored the pattern. One respected independent theater that normally champions documentaries scheduled 5 separate showtimes across the weekend. Total tickets sold, 7. The owner said on local radio the only reason he didn't cancel sooner was because the tickets had already been printed and he didn't want to waste the paper. Within 36 hours of the opening, major chains across the country began dropping the title one after another. Event Cinemas, the biggest exhibitor in Australia, pulled it from more than 40 screens. Hoyts followed, canceling sessions in 23 locations. Village Cinemas went the furthest. They removed the film from every single one of their theaters nationwide and released a very careful 3-line statement. Due to unexpectedly low attendance, we will no longer be screening this title. That carefully chosen phrase, unexpectedly low attendance, instantly became the polite industry code for what everyone was really witnessing, one of the most complete and rapid commercial disasters anyone could remember. Perhaps the single most painful photograph to come out of the entire weekend was taken in an upscale Sydney suburban theater. 10 minutes before the scheduled 6:30 p.m. Saturday screening, a staff member captured the image. 110 perfectly arranged, perfectly clean seats, glowing softly under emergency lighting, and only one person sitting in the very last row. That one person was a reviewer from a conservative website. The projectionist waited the full 15 minutes past posted start time, then simply shut everything down and went home. The reviewer later wrote that he experienced the extremely strange sensation of watching a $75 million production as a completely unintended private screening. By Monday morning, theater owners were desperately calling the Australian distributor asking to be released from their contracts. The distributor had stopped answering the phone. Several large chains quietly admitted they were now deliberately placing the film in the worst possible slots, 10 a.m. weekday mornings, 11:45 p.m. Sunday nights, the tiniest screening rooms available. Anything to reduce the humiliation of showing a movie to room after room of empty chairs. The early numbers that leaked are genuinely difficult to believe. Across the entire country of Australia, population 26 million, the film sold an estimated 614 tickets on opening day. Day 2 fell to 387. By day 3, the number had dropped below 200 and was still declining rapidly. For comparison, even modest mid-level Hollywood releases normally open to somewhere between 80,000 and 150,000 tickets across Australia in their first weekend. The weakest wide releases in recent memory almost never fell below 4,000 total tickets. If the current pattern holds, the entire Australian theatrical run of this film, even if it somehow survives a full week, will have sold fewer tickets than one average sold-out Friday night show of Deadpool and Wolverine. The single most crushing statistic came from a theater in Adelaide. 0 tickets sold for the entire weekend. 0. Yet because the booking was locked into the system, they were forced to run the film 4 times anyway. The projectionist screened a $75 million movie to a completely empty auditorium 4 separate times, watched the credits roll each time in total silence, then shut down and went home. Inside Australian cinema circles, the phrase, "pulling a Melania," has already been born. It means a movie so completely dead on arrival that even the ushers don't bother staying in the room. One longtime manager summed it up very simply: "I've watched plenty of films fail. This one arrived already cremated.